What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Empire Sports Talk. I am your host, Roman Gennaro, and I want to talk about the NFC East. Let's go. So, we are, at the time of recording this, just over a week away from the first game of the NFL season, which does feature the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. But at the time this video comes out, we are probably a lot closer to opening day than a week and a half. But at this moment, we are 9 days away. We don't know if Micah Parsons will be there, but by the time this comes out, maybe there's a change. We don't know. But I'm here to talk about the division as a whole. This is probably the division that gets the most airplay on ESPN, on any other network, because they cannot stop talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And for that reason, I'm not going to sit here and wax poetic about the Cowboys. I'm going to hit them when I get to them and quit them. But first, I don't necessarily believe in statistically, no team has won this 2 years in a row in 20 years. I get that that's not superstition. That's a fact. No team has won it 2 years in a row over the last 20 years. But I think this is the year that changes, because I think number one is the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they won a year ago, and pretty much the same team is coming back. They signed Saquon Barkley to a 2-year extension. They brought in A.J. Dillon as the backup. They agreed to an extension with Lane Johnson, who is arguably the most important offensive lineman in the entire NFL. So there's nothing here that would suggest to me that this is not the year that the returning champion finally wins it again. I could see I think two teams are going to make the playoffs in this division, obviously. Number two is the Washington Commanders. I do think much is the same that I mentioned with Bo Nix in the AFC West video and C.J. Stroud in the AFC South video. C.J. Stroud did have a bit of a sophomore slump a year ago, but that's only because he was so good in his rookie year that there was nowhere for him to go but down. And that's something similar to what I think is going to happen to Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos. He had a great year, nowhere to go but down. But there is a lot to like about this Washington squad. They re-signed Zach Ertz, re-signed Marcus Mariota as the backup quarterback. They re-signed Noah Brown. They brought in Michael Gallup. They brought in Deebo Samuel. They re-signed KJ Osborne. They brought in Laramie Tunsil on the offensive line, which is huge to protect Jaden Daniels. They brought in Von Miller, who is at the end of his career, but he is still extremely effective. They brought in Cleveland Farrell. They brought in Dietrich Wise, another edge rusher. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. They brought in Jalen Kinlaw. They brought in Matt Gay as the kicker. This is the team. This is the sexy pick. Every year there's a team that draws all the free agents, draws all the trades, draws all the thing, and most importantly, they got it done with Terry McLaurin. He is coming back to be the number one, the veteran in that receiver room, and now Jaden Daniels has a vaunted 1-2 with Deebo and Terry McLaurin. There's not a lot not to like about this Washington Commanders team, but I do think the whole league has a year of tape on Jaden Daniels, so he's got nowhere to go but down. I don't think it'll be a significant drop-off. I think he's too good for that. But I do think there will be a slight drop-off, and they will finish number 2 in this division. Number 3. And this is a last-minute pivot, and you're going to think I'm nuts. But third place in the NFC East, I have the New York Giants. Listen, this team has been the talk of training camp. Everything that we've seen with Jackson Dart, from the roster they've put together, this might be crazy. And this mostly has to do more with Dallas, in my opinion, than it does with New York. But New York's roster isn't bad. We've heard a lot about their QB room with Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, and Jameis Winston. It looks as though the New York Giants have named Russell Wilson as the Week 1 starter, but I don't even know if that's the right move, because I don't think there is going to be as much buzz, as much excitement, as much attention to the New York Giants and Jackson Dart as there is right now. Obviously, because he's towards the end of his career, Russell Wilson is not the future. Jackson Dart, I think, could be. And so why not give it a shot? There seems to be so much swagger and so much fun happening in Giants camp right now. And the Giants have not been a team that has been associated with fun for a while now. And on the defensive side of the ball, Abdul Carter is having an insane camp. So this is more of a knock on the Cowboys than anything. But I'm going to go with the Giants at number 3. And number 4, Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to hear it for this. I know I am. But there is nothing I like about Dallas's offseason. Yes, they brought in George Pickens to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Yes, they have Dak Prescott fully healthy. But there is way too much noise about Micah Parsons. And if they don't re-sign Micah Parsons, which it's not looking good, even if he signs, they're a week away from playing on Thursday night against Philadelphia. And he has not been around. He was sleeping on the workout table during the preseason game. He's not checked in. He's not mentally ready to play. I don't care how good he is. He's not ready. Even if they re-sign him, he's not ready. But they probably won't. And that defense needs him. And there's the Jerry Jones of it all, who will not shut up. I am so tired of him saying whatever comes to his mind because it's good TV. That's how you run your program? That's why you haven't been to the AFC Championship game in 30 years. That's why people don't want to turn on ESPN, because they know that all the NFL people are going to talk about is your team. Even when it's not football season, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I am so tired of Jerry Jones, of him being stupid when it comes to, you have a superstar player in his prime that you drafted first round because it was a need that you had, and when it comes time to pay his biggest contract, you have Terry McLaurin in his 30s, Trey Hendrickson in his 30s, TJ Watt now in his 30s. He will be turning 31 during this season. All getting contracts before your 25, 26-year-old superstar, because it got worked out with Dak. It got worked out with CD. It's going to get worked out because I had a handshake deal with Micah Parsons in a bathroom without his agent. So why do I need to talk to his? Just shut up, Jerry, and sign your player. Sign your superstar. Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals were so far apart that there was no way they got it done. And they somehow still got it done before you and Micah Parsons. The NFL has passed you by. And yet you are so starved for relevance that you're going to go on any show, any podcast, any interview, and air out dirty laundry with your players because you don't want to talk to agents, because you're so desperate for relevancy that you will say anything to stay as the top story on any program. And that is not how to run a successful team. When you were dominating the NFL, it was back when there were only so many ways to make headlines. It was back when social media was not running the world. It was back when every person with a microphone, yes, that includes me, could not have an opinion about you or your team. Now, all that has changed, and you haven't been relevant on the field since then. You have not even been to a championship game. And so, no, it's not about making headlines. It's not about getting the story or making the thing happen because you said something stupid on an interview. It's about football. And that's why I have you guys in 4th place. I know I wouldn't say wax poetic, but it's almost impossible to ignore Jerry Jones. And that's what I hate. So, no. Do I realistically think the Giants are going to finish above the Cowboys? I don't know. But the noise around this team is overwhelmingly negative because of one man. And that man is Jerry Jones. And the person that he needs but will not sign is Micah Parsons. So that is my prediction for the NFC East. Philly, Washington, New York, and Dallas. Let me know in the comments how wrong you think I am, because Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl. But until then, in the next video, I think we're going to do the NFC North in the next one. So until then, I'm Roman Gennaro of Empire Sports Talk, and I'll see you there.